Howdy.
Hi there, how you doing?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Doing a little coming through a little loud, limited justice a little bit.
Now I have to ask, where did you get your t-shirt at?
It was a gift from my wife, so you'd have to ask her. She has places that she frequents. I think they're online where she buys my various um, t-shirts. So
Well, that one's special.
yeah, I would say so. It's also not um, obvious to everyone who sees it too.
Right.
But yeah, this one's one that she got for me.
Yeah, only some people are going to recognize what that is.
That is true. That is definitely true. So, but no, I thought it was kind of cute. So we're 100% virtual this week
And next week,
and next week. Okay.
and looking far ahead into the future, um, November's only going to have 3 meetings, which is pretty typical.
Yeah. Well, obviously, Thanksgiving always falls on a Thursday,
Yeah.
so
Yep. Yeah,
so
so that's pretty typical for November.
yep.
Um, and then far in the future, we're probably not going to have less meetings in December too.
Okay.
Just just because. Oh, Christmas actually falls on a Thursday this December.
Oh,
So
is that right?
yeah. So we're definitely having less meetings.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, so
So how's it going with you?
well, pretty good. Pretty good.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I think I don't know, a
Excuse me.
couple weeks ago maybe I said that I had gotten my not only renewed my FCC license, my ham license, but I went ahead and got the GMRS license while I was at
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And it's only taken Amazon almost a month, but oh, you can't see it. The video. Da, da, da.
Well, with that background in there, I will.
Yeah, you can't see it. I'll get rid of the background.
So,
So I picked up a GMRS HT,
hmm.
um, 2 pack of these for $40.
Well, that's a pretty good deal.
Came with uh, 3 antennas per thing, drop-in charger, USB charging. Um, it was a heck of a deal for $40.
Where'd you get it?
Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Um, they had I had ordered it, and for some reason it came from Arizona to Indianapolis, and then suddenly it got canceled. Um,
Really?
yeah, and I went, huh, that's weird. Um,
I guess.
and then so I got the money back almost immediately, which was a first, and I reordered it, and it went from Arizona to Indianapolis and set in Indianapolis for a couple more days, and then it showed up, and I'm like, Okay. I don't know what the problem was, but I finally got it. It took almost 2 weeks for it to show up, but I finally got it.
Hmm.
So, um, it's it's very similar to some of the ham radios. I've actually got a ham radio that's very much like this.
Mm-hmm.
And other than it just doing GMRS and the firmware on it is just GMRS firmware. It's it's very, very similar to a couple of the other radios I've got. So, um, the website says it's a 10-watt radio, which I don't know if I believe, but that's what it says. So I can
Who makes it?
uh who actually makes it or the name that's on it. It's
Well,
it's a bowfin,
okay.
and they are currently out of stock on them, but I'll put a link in the message in the chat. They had them down at one point. You could get the 2-pack for like $36, and that was a heck of a deal. Came with the charge programming cable and everything. It came with everything you'd possibly need.
Wonder why it was such a good deal.
Because they make millions of these radios and slap different labels on them. Here, hang on. Okay. This is my ham radio that is also a Bofang. That is a, oh, I can't read the sticker. UV K5 Pro. And this is the one that I just bought. It is a GM5RH.
They look almost identical.
Other than the knob and a couple of the buttons being slightly different, they are the exact same radio. This one's in a slightly different case. But if you powered them up, they go through the exact same startup. They've got slightly different. Oh, it would help if I put that on correctly. So if I fire these up, they go through exactly the same startup. Their menu system and everything is almost the same. It's almost identical. It's really hard to see it. The
So you
screen's
think they're just software differences or what?
Oh, there's definitely software differences. This radio, the ham radio will do 220 and 2 meter 440 220. And of course the antenna is a 220 antenna, so I could use it. And if you look at this antenna that came with it, it's got the same little notch in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 220 antenna. It's a 440 and 144, 2 meter 440 and 220 antenna. The
Hmm.
radio will receive 220. It will receive 2 meter. It'll receive NOAA, but it won't transmit on any of that stuff because the software won't let it. The firmware that's on it won't let it do it. They're almost identical radios. Um, Now I am fairly sure that this one is a knockoff. It's somebody else made it, not Bofang, because the menu button, the exit for the menu button is spelled E, how's it spelled? EIXT instead of EXIT. So
EIXT. Okay.
they did not spell the exit button, or they didn't spell it right. I think this is the radio they were knocking off.
Okay.
There is a ham version of this radio. Um, it's not a GM, it's something else. But there's a ham version of this radio, and there's this one, which I am almost certainly is a knockoff. And almost certainly I paid $40 for this one, and I got two of them for the same price. But it's a nice little radio. It's serves its purpose well. With the longer antenna on it, of course, I'm able to pick up stuff. There's a there's an auto auction um, that happens every Thursday, and they use FRS radios to move cars in and out of the auction house, and they use 4 or 5 different channels, and they're they've got to be 5 miles away, and I can hear them just fine. I could pick them up just fine with this radio. So,
Speaking of cars, how is your car coming along?
well, it's back. I've had it now. Um, it's running great. Can hardly tell that anything was wrong with it. Not noticing any kind of leaks right now or anything else. It's almost like a new car.
So they just replaced the rear axle assembly, and that was it.
Well, I mean, yeah, and all the associated stuff that would go with replacing the rear axle assembly.
Uh
Um,
huh.
I mean, he had to take the rotors and the calipers and all that stuff off of the old and put it on the new. So it, it wasn't. I'm sure he had the right tools to do it. So I'm sure it wasn't hard. It was just time consuming. A lot of cables and whatever to hook up. He's
Hey,
sitting
Mike.
in a blurry room.
uh, a dark, blurry room. I should turn on some more lights.
No,
Yeah.
but he's got the blur on.
No,
Yeah, on the background. Uh, that's the type of thing where It doesn't really clean up the room. It just makes it look better.
Yeah. There
I
was
go ahead.
there was an old joke. I think Futurama did it. Something about the blur. The closer you got, the more blurrier it got. So that's why, oh, he's sitting in a blurry room. It was one of those nerd things.
So,
Well,
Art, what does your T-shirt say today? There's no place like.
See if he
yeah.
gets it.
See if I can.
Think he. Oh no, he's moving.
Can you see it?
I can see the top line, but I don't see a line after that. 127.0.0.1. You have to explain it to me. I'm a little slow today.
Well, that's the IP address of your own computer.
Okay.
That's the default IP address of the computer you're working on,
Yep.
otherwise known as home. It's an inside joke for
Yeah.
network nerds.
Well, um, I understood that it was an inside joke for computer nerds,
Well, it's
but
network nerds actually, but go ahead.
okay. Now, my IP address says 192.168.0.
No, no, no,
No,
no, no,
nope,
no,
nope,
no.
nope. You're looking
Okay.
at the wrong one.
All right.
Every computer that has an IP address also has a loopback or a loop. Oh,
This is
it's
talking to yourself.
it's also called a local host. It's just a loop container. It's either going to be 1.2, 1.7.0.0.0 or 1.7.0.0.1.
1.27.
27. Could be. Yeah. If you do what is that? It should show you.
Well, in Linux, if you do the if config
Yeah.
command, you'll see it. I forget how you get out of it
Isn't
in
it
Windows.
just
Well, I went to the network internet access is where I went to read that.
yeah, that won't show you. You have to do it from the command line.
Okay.
Um and
Actually, in Windows,
it's
you don't. In Windows, you can go to
oh,
some network setting.
okay.
It's much easier in Linux. You just type ifconfig at the command line, and it's one of the IP addresses that shows.
Yeah, isn't it net something? You type net in the command line and
Yeah, something like that.
Addy or something. I don't remember.
Well, I'm not going to remember either. So thank you for your indulgence. But this is one of those things where, yes, I would like to have all the knowledge in the world, but there's not enough room in the current configuration of these neurons to do that.
We understand. So, you like your new monitor?
I love it. Uh,
That's a great monitor, isn't it?
yeah, I'm scheduled to pick up a 3 monitor support swing arm device Sunday for $10. Right now, the monitor is just propped up on the desk, leaning against the wall. So it's not optimum in terms of viewing distance or anything like that. But the clarity, well, let me back up. The previous monitor I was using as main monitor has the same resolution, but it's a 23 inch as opposed to 27-inch. But there's something different about this monitor in terms of the illumination. It is easier on my eyes, yet sharper. I don't think I'm describing it adequately. But I can look at, well, I had an cortisone injection in my hip on Tuesday, and that always upsets my blood glucose and screws me up. So I'm up at weird times during the day, giving myself shots and trying to cope with the upheaval from that. So I was up at 5 o'clock this morning going through my sister's photographs, and I went through 15,000 photographs on this monitor this morning. And at the end of that, I wasn't particularly tired.
That is good. I think maybe that monitor is an LED monitor.
I don't, I'd have to look up the specs again. All I know is I thought it was a great trash find.
Yeah, you got a deal because that's like I told you, I'm 99% sure that's the same monitor that me and Patty just bought for $100. So you got a good deal.
Well, I had,
And it's a heck of a monitor.
yeah, I had to spend $14 for a dedicated power supply, but after Steve helped me determine that it was in fact working last week, I didn't have any problem spending $14. I just didn't want to spend $14 on a dead box.
Yeah. Well,
Good choice.
I think you're the reason why it was in the trash was probably correct. It you know kept turning off on them or whatever. However you worded that.
So
Yeah,
that's the problem with the power supply or what?
so art somewhere in the settings on the monitor itself, there's a whole fleet of them, and someplace along the line there was a shutdown after 20 seconds. I could not find it. I ended up going through and just resetting it to factory default. And that was all it took to stop it from shutting down every 20 seconds.
That's weird.
That's called we've got a bunch of small kids and they're messed with the monitor and now we don't know how to fix it.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a heck of a deal.
Well, had I been more cognizant of my surroundings, when I picked it up out of the dumpster, I would have looked for a power supply. But I thought it was a typical AC plug coming in the back end of it. And I didn't really look at the monitor itself until several days had gone by.
Right.
And at that point, uh, it was too late to go back to the dumpster and look for a power supply.
Yeah. Well, me and Patty were last month and a half. I don't know. It's probably been a couple months since I bought that monitor, but we were down at Micro Center for something else, and we were walking out, and they had the monitors sitting there for $99, and I'm like, well, she needs a monitor, and $99 isn't a horrible price.
Well, not for 27 inch. If that Samsung you got is the same as this one,
Yeah.
$100 was a damn good deal just to begin with.
And well, I didn't even look at I just figured it was a generic no-name monitor for $100, right? Oh, he disappeared. Uh-oh. But yeah, I figured it was a generic monitor for $100 and bought it, got it home, and it was a Samsung. And I'm like, oh wow, this is a good monitor for $100.
Well, now, is there any chance it's a plasma?
I don't think it's a plasma. Everything I don't know what model it is now, but everything I see is it's an LED. I'm pretty sure it's an LED monitor.
Because if they're plasma, they suck power like mad. They'll keep you warm.
Yeah, no, this thing's much newer than plasma, and it doesn't really get warm. Um,
Well, I wonder what happened to Mike.
I don't know. He up and disappeared. Like right now, Micro Center's got a 27-inch curved Samsung monitor for $99.
And that's LED?
That's LED. It's not a high refresh rate, but so it's probably not a great gaming monitor, but it would be a very nice usable monitor for just general purposes. Purposes. And it's curved. Oh, it says it's refurbished. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I wonder what they refurbish on the thing when they refurbish it.
Probably clean it up a little bit and factory reset it.
Huh.
I can't. Yeah, this is not the same monitor I've got. This one's got an actual VGA port on it, which is I thought I thought VGA was maybe it's making a slow death. I thought VGA was not really a thing that we have anymore. I thought all the new machines had HDMI on them or display ports on
Well,
them.
I think you automatically on every monitor get VGA.
Uh, he's back.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
But
Okay.
He's almost back. There.
There it is. Well, I thought it was. Okay.
I don't
Well,
see him.
Julie was using the computer and she was logged in, and I got locked out looking for the 127.0.0.1, and I couldn't get back to the regular screen. So I figured, I'll just go to Julie's login, except that every 5 minutes she changes her password. What the hell it is. And it's just frustrating. So I ended up having rebooting the computer.
I think Art's phone is.
Yeah, and I can't get it to shut off. It's a spam call. Couldn't get it to back up. So,
See,
at any rate,
I think the monitor that I got, I think it only was HDMI. I don't think it had a VGA port on it.
hmm.
I think that was, I don't know. I would have to go look. I might be wrong. But yeah, I didn't like I said before you disappeared, Mike, I didn't even look at who made it or anything. I just simply looked at the price.
Yeah.
27 inch, $99, heck of a deal. Let's go. Got it home and it was a Samsung, and I went, it's an even better deal than I thought it was. And then I actually kind of paid attention to what I had, and I was like, oh wow, an LED monitor, and oh wow,
Much better than what I anticipated.
uh, $99. I don't see them. I don't see the monitor that I bought, but they do have. I put a link in the chat. They do have a curved $99 Samsung monitor now, so it's not the same monitor.
So the one you bought is not curved.
It is not. It's just a regular, ordinary,
Flat panel.
everyday, generic flat panel, really nice monitor.
Okay, and there's Ray.
Ray. He's out in the world somewhere, probably.
Well, it's probably in this hemisphere.
There's no guarantee on that.
Well, what, last week he was in Florida or someplace in the South?
Yeah, I think so. No, last Thursday he was in Westchester with a 10,000 supply of multimeters.
Oh, yeah, right.
But he had just got back from Florida or something.
Yeah, because I think the deal was that his flight, depending on when his flight came in, he would attend or not attend.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny. I said, if you Wikipedia Imelda Marcos, Steve says shoes, and I turn and Leroy says, if you Wikipedia Ray Scott, you end up not with shoes, but multimeters.
Multimeters. Look, Ray's in his office this week, too.
Well, we think. That could be just a background that he had.
I don't know. The last time he used that background, you could see the seatbelt on him. So
Yeah.
I don't have anything to fake a seatbelt.
Your background's too clean this time. It's got to be real.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Fake my seatbelt here.
Close enough. It's a pretty thin seatbelt. Oh, your seatbelt has a pattern. You're
Yeah,
getting
Paisley, there's a tie.
you're getting fancy.
Like, who are you guys talking about? Oh, it's me. Okay. So yes, I'm in town this week.
That's kind of unusual. Is there something special going on?
My customer was Edgewood High School, which is right down the street.
Oh,
So
okay.
It's always nice when you have local customers.
yeah, well, this was stupid, really. Um, But yeah, it is nice to have easy work. I'll admit that.
Uh, so
So this week I've got some really easy stuff. My well the past couple days I had the easy stuff. My daughter today asked me to, hey, can I put together some hall passes because she's becoming a teacher, and I've just been having fun with this. Um, it's hilarious. There's stuff like I'm on the way to the library, on my way to the nurse. That's been the one that's really more fun for me today because I'm doing stuff like caution, stay back. Um, I'll show uh my computer screen here soon and show you guys some of these uh caution signs. They're pretty funny.
whenever you're ready.
Um, let's see. Just trying to do a little bit of layout for them at the moment.
Hmm.
Um, file, save as. There's 8, 9. Okay. Um, so how do I get into showing my
You go down to where it says share. Are you using
yeah,
yeah. You click on the share thing and then it should bring up a thing that will show you all
which
the open
application I can
windows.
share?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you guys see what I'm sharing on my screen here?
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah, that's very clear.
So it's just a hall pass. And my wife is like, you can't do that. You can't. I'm like, these kids will love this. I mean, really.
Oh
I
yeah.
think it's hilarious. Um, just this kind of crap. Okay, so let me go through some of these. Um, let's see how long it takes to open these up. Okay, we've got the guy is fully bent over and vomiting straight to the ground. Love this. And then we've got uh, these are like on the way to the nurse kind of stuff. Just a straight off emoji. Blah. Uh, Number 6.
Are
And there's a couple of
these
these that they just won't allow. So, but yeah,
are the
kid with crutches. Um,
are these laser cut or
these are going to be laser engraved. The blue line is actually cutting.
okay.
Um, so yeah, here's just a clip art on my way to see the nurse. Um, You got to pay attention to the little syringe there. You're going to get stuck with a syringe.
Yeah, I see that.
Yep.
I'm not
Uh,
sure a nurse can do that right now.
yep. So
Uh, naughty nurse. The naughty nurse.
that is definitely the naughty nurse. Not sure that. So my daughter is going to be a teacher. She is a teacher now at a Catholic school in Cincinnati. So that one's not going to pass.
Oh, you think?
She looked like Nurse Ratchet off of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Nurse Ratchet. That's what it was. I didn't know if it was Nurse Betty, Nurse something. Okay. See if I can find Nurse Ratchet. Uh, there's the nicer one with this syringe. I still don't know that they would approve this one.
Yeah,
So
that one's not horribly
it's not, yeah,
Well,
it's
I
not
think
horrible completely.
I think the nuns might take askance to the cleavage there.
There's no cleavage. Here's the
There's no
zombie
cleavage.
boy with all the, needs pills, needs Band-Aid, needs everything else. So and she's like, Ray, Dad, you gotta keep this all, you know, nice and rated PG and stuff. I'm like, okay, I get it. So I'm doing some library passes. Um, let's see, we're gonna have a
she
fourth
teaching
grade.
elementary.
Um, fourth and fifth grade. So, we're picking up, some of the younger kid kind of stuff, getting into reading. Um,
Yeah, they'll love those passes.
the
That age group will love those passes.
yeah, trying to do something that's interesting. Yeah, a little bit of clip art looking. What is it? Diego and whoever. That kind of artwork level. Um, these are taking a few seconds each to turn on. Some of the boys might not necessarily like cartoony stuff, so I grabbed a little bit better stuff. Um, so different hall passes. That stuff for a little bit older there. Um, office. See if we got library 4. Some of it is just books on shelves, kind of looking. Um, that's more of a high school looking. Um,
That looks pretty late for high school.
oh, she's wearing glasses actually. This is more of a kid's hall pass.
Okay.
Let's see. I got the anime library. I was like told, nope, this one won't work because her skirt's too high. And
Yeah, I
it's
think there's
a.
a.
I was like, all right, all right, all right. Um, Now on the way to the office. Um, running errands. Um, Now towards the end of my day, I just had time to kill, and I was like, okay, I can make a bunch of hall passes. This would be really, and this is a very elegant, nice one. Um, Probably another stack of books or something for this next one. But um, yeah, towards the end, I was just like, okay, on the way to the nurse, how sick can I make this person? Can I get somebody that's vomiting? Can I get a broken leg? Can I can I have a chopped off arm? Can I put a zombie on there? You know, so just trying to have a little bit of fun with it. Um, I got some going to the bathroom passes. Um, and she says, "Okay, this is just fine." So, um, I'm sure you guys can see those. And she told me, she's like, "Hey, Dad, I want one for the girls. If I've got a girls' bathroom pass." So this is generic. Um, so I actually had to draw the one for the girls, going to the girls' bathroom and trying to keep it a little bit nicer, for these fourth and fifth grade kids. Uh, but still fun stuff all day. Um, hmm,
I don't, can't even remember what I was doing in fourth or fifth grade and needing a hall pass.
yeah, I still love this one. Stay back.
Yeah, all right.
I I just remember we had a hall pass. We didn't have a hall pass to somewhere. We had a hall pass.
Yeah.
Yeah. It, I think it was a handwritten thing. It might have said where we were supposed to be going, but
Yeah. So
it
my daughter
was
doesn't want
it was
handwritten stuff like that. She's like, "Hey, I want a nice hall pass and yeah, something that has some other value." But on the back of all of these, they're going to say Miss Scott. So anyway, just having some fun with today. After I got the real stuff that she's going to get, I thought, hey, I'm going to make some gag ones, some gag gifts for her to see if they pass. See if they'll let them do these. Uh, I know this isn't exactly a lot of automation technology, but it is being laser engraved. So
So what do you put these on? Are these on cards or pieces of wood or what?
these are going to be cut out of 1/8 plywood, birch plywood. So it's
Mhm.
gonna be a nice looking tag. Um, I don't know if I could find an example. Um,
You make them too nice and they will disappear.
and then they will disappear. Yeah, I'm sure they would. But yeah, just see if I can find something similar. Um, are you guys still seeing? I don't know what you can see so far.
we're seeing the
Oh, you're still
SVG
seeing.
file or whatever that is. Yeah.
Okay, let me change the share to go over to.
So
Um,
so you probably got to click on stop share and start a new one.
um, did it switch it over to Google?
Nope. No.
Okay, I'll go ahead and stop share and switch.
Yeah, you probably have to stop it to switch it.
Last time I shared, Leroy had to shut it down for me.
Okay, so there was stop sharing, and then I can see if it'll take me into my Google. So you're, it's not loading. It's still loading.
There it
Okay,
is.
now, all right. So on here you can see how there's some hall passes that are multi-layered, and then there's some, over here on the right, they're just laser engraved with lanyards. And she specifically told me she wanted something that was like 3 by 5 inches. So it's too big to stick in your pocket. It's definitely going to go around their neck. Um, I don't want something as small as a keychain. Um, I think um, something's like an ID badge size is appropriate, but I don't want to break the hole that's right above, that's clipped onto the lanyard.
Yeah.
So something that's interesting that gets their attention. Um, in the case like here where it says line leader and stuff like that, I wanted a beauty ring, an outline around it. Um, so it's nice looking. But I didn't want it to be so plain to say restroom pass or, but something interesting. Um, so if I'm gonna make this for the kids, it'd be great. But here, um, I just don't want something that's too much, but again, not something that's just too easy. Um, I had clicked on the multi-layer. Yeah. So here's the multi-layer girl boy
Mm-hmm.
media center where you've got a lighter colored wood behind the other one. Um, and if this stuff does disappear, I don't want to cry about it. Um, so I think something that's about this size, this kind of detail,
Yeah.
not something that's too much. Um,
Stuff
you look at
you
uh,
lose.
you look at something like this, that's multi-layer, a lot of color, and it's just too much.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work, and are these kids going to take care of it? When a kid takes it to the bathroom, he's going to pee on it, so you just it's just not worth it. So, we are putting these put the name on the back, but I don't want to go through something that $15 for one. Is that one hall pass or is this for four? So that would be cool if it was for four, but oh
You probably sold them the laser, Ray. They have to make some money now.
no, I did not sell them a laser. Did not.
This place, these people.
Oh, is it that company?
Yeah.
The crafty Angie? I don't know. I mean, I definitely promote people to go make some money.
Well, the left-hand most image is going to confuse most uh, grade schoolers because it shows a rotary dial.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious. The kids might not even know what it is.
No, they wouldn't. My
The younger teachers may not either.
right. My brother, as a docent in a lighter than air museum in California, and they had hot air balloons that they used to train people before they got into the rigid aircraft like the Akron and Mac, excuse me, my tongue's not working. Macron and the Akron, the rigid airships. And he was saying that they would go up in the hot air balloon, and when they landed, they would write down where they had landed and attach that to a carrier pigeon, homing pigeon. And then when it arrived back at the base, they would dispatch a truck and go pick up the two crew members that were on training, as well as the balloon and all the equipment. And they had a teenager who was there who said, well, why didn't they just cell phone call? It's like the whole concept of lighter aircraft prior to World War II, and he had no concept that cell phones were a relatively new phenomenon.
Yeah. My grandkids, two of them, can recognize landline phones, desktop phones, but neither one of them have ever seen rotary phones. So they might put two and two together and figure out what it is, but that's probably a stretch. The other ones, wouldn't have a clue what that was, even close to a clue what that was. So, you know, um, we asked one of them, we showed her a picture of a payphone. She goes, "Oh, that's easy. That's the thing that they used before cell phones."
Yeah,
And it
that's
was
correct.
really bad because it couldn't even get videos, Papple. Yeah, you're right. It was also expensive. If you were making
That's
a long
true.
distance call, you were paying out the nose for that thing.
Well, not only that, but you had to have a pocket full of change because they generally didn't take dollar bills. They didn't even take 50-cent pieces, I
Yeah.
don't think. I don't remember seeing a payphone that took a 50-cent piece.
I remember at one point payphones were a quarter, and then they went up to 35 cents, and then they went up to like 50 cents, and then they disappeared.
I can remember being in New Orleans, and I called up a woman I'd been in graduate school with. And I said, I can't believe your payphones down here are just a dime. And she said, you just spent a nickel extra. The payphones in New Orleans were only a nickel.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Gonna go to see the grumpy nurse.
Yeah,
I love it.
not sure I'd like to get an injection from her.
I could probably draw a syringe on there.
Uh, you probably ought to give her a hammer and an ice pick for a lobotomy.
What's this program you're using?
This right here is called Lightburn, and
Okay.
it's specifically used for the laser machines. 30-day trial if you wanted to use it per computer. So if you got a bunch of computers, you can switch from computer to computer. And yeah, on my
Just
way to the nurse. Rawr.
it that looks a bit like
Well,
Inkscape.
it's clip art that I got straight off of Google for Nurse Ratched. And oh, I mean, there's some other more angry looking Nurse Ratched stuff. uh,
It's
I
probably not going to cut it
yeah, I
for.
could probably grab a syringe off of this other one, this other image. Oh yeah. uh, copy image.
It's Mr. Steve.
Hello. Waiting for this thing to tell me I don't have enough bandwidth. Seems to do it almost every time.
Why would it tell you you don't have enough bandwidth?
Probably because the VPN that automatically starts on this laptop is stupid.
Is that a special install or what?
Let's install the stupid one.
It's just a Siemens thing.
It's it's pre-AI. It's stupid. The best kind of thing.
Generally speaking, it works well. I've never had to poke it with a stick yet, but yeah, if I do a speed test on this machine, it tells me that I've got like 120 megabits. If I do a speed test from a VM that I'm running in this machine, it tells me I've got 400. So, me, whatever.
I picked up a slightly new toy.
Ooh, ooh.
An M5 stack fire. I found this on eBay as a non-working device for 20 bucks.
It specifically said it was non-working.
It specifically said that it was non-working. And of course, now it won't come on. There it goes.
Right. Did you guys see my shared nurse ratchet with a syringe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Leroy is in a, you're big enough for me to see that now.
So I've had plenty of these M5 stack devices, and when I read the description that this one was making noise and doing all kinds of weird stuff, I was like, okay, somebody loaded firmware on there that it doesn't like. It just needed to be reset and reloaded, and kind of like your monitor.
Yeah.
20 bucks. It was a pretty good deal. It came in its little firebox, and
Oh, nice.
yeah.
So what does that normally run?
Uh I don't think they make this particular one anymore, but they were like 75 bucks when they were new, and I think on average you can find them for around 50 bucks now. So finding one that said it wasn't working for 20 was still a good deal.
Yeah, nice.
But but the guy said that he thought it probably just needed to be software wiped and reloaded, but he didn't know how to do it. Okay, I'll take that challenge.
So that one of the hold the button for X
Yeah,
amount of time?
kinda. Yeah,
And look cross-eyed, yeah.
yeah. It uh the heck of it was when I plugged it into my machine, it came right up, and I could tell that the firmware was bad on it, but it programmed without even needing to do the big reset. It just took a new program. And I'm like,
Sweet.
okay, I'm not going to argue with you. So I've had plenty of them, and I've got one, uh, that does every now and then it for whatever reason it either fails when you upload the program or whatever, and that's what it does. It just sits there and beeps at you. It's like, I know what this problem is. I can fix this. So that's my big adventure. And I played around with some robots this week, and uh went off to Pork Bun, and I can get the domain name, but I still don't know what to put on the site, so I haven't bought it yet. So the domain,
I I can tar up what I've got, which reminds me I need to go through that and fix some links. There were a few things that seemed off.
off, yeah. Um, well, if we did a static of that, I guess that would work. I can get the automationtechnology.club for, I think it was just under $2 for the year, and then it went up to like 16 bucks every time it renewed. So,
So I've been using Register for Less for probably, I don't know, 15 years, maybe 20.
okay.
Um, any domain is $15 a year, $14.90 or something. They've never raised the price on me in the entire time I've used them. It's run by a bunch of guys that you can actually call and talk to and say, hey, why does this do that? And they tell you in non-salesman speak. So
Well, that's a
they
relief.
definitely get my vote. The 4 is a number.
Yeah. I don't think they do the dot club.
That could be. They
Yeah,
do a lot of them. If you
I typed it in and it told me that was an error. So
did you just put in the domain name, automation technology, and then click the CCTLD and look up.
CCTLD. Okay.
The GTLD is just the normal-ish ones. But yeah, I don't know if they do .club or not.
Doesn't look like it. It looks like it's .us, .cn.
It's Asgard.
Yes, you're right. And I'm disappearing.
Is that really somebody's interpretation of Asgard, or is it just a?
I forget what movie that came from. That came from a movie, and yes, it's somebody's interpretation of.
Okay, bye. Probably, yeah.
Um,
Huh, somebody's got silly.ca. That's pretty nondescript. Comes up as not secure and just a white page. No, nothing.
yeah, if I click on just the other one, the other selection, I get the .com, .net, .org, .biz, but no .club. So I don't think they do .club.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. You wanted automation technology?
That's what I was thinking. Unless somebody has something better to do.
Yeah. Um, you could probably register it cheap somewhere and then transfer it
Transfer it,
in.
yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah,
it says I just looked at pork bun again and I thought it was 16. It says it renews for 14, so that's probably about
okay.
the same cost. So it's a $1.50 for the first year and then it renews at 14. So
That's not bad.
it's not bad. Yeah, well,
All told for my domains and the DNS, I think I'm spending about $85 a year for 3 total domains and effectively all of the subdomains of that I can come up with.
yeah.
I think I'm limited at 65,000, but I'm not certain of that.
65,000.
Well, in a lot of cases, that isn't really as many as you think. think of it from Google's perspective. They've got messages.google.com and calls.google.com and calendar.google.com. Every one of those subdomains has a cost. So, but yeah, 65,000 times three, because I've got three domains. I think I'm safe for the time being.
For the
One of the neat things with the way I do DNS, I can give out subdomains. I can give somebody Bob at clug.org and they can host a site, deal with their own certificates, and it registers through my domain, but I don't know anything about it other than what its IP address is.
Did he just freeze? I think he just froze.
No, he's
There's
not
there's
frozen.
there's his bandwidth.
Yep.
Yep.
And my internet connection is unstable, just popped up. Maybe it just
Wonderful.
doesn't like when I talk.
Well,
My wife doesn't like it when I talk either. Wife, Wi-Fi, whatever.
uh, you won't have a problem with hosting a .club. It's such an interesting top level domain.
I can do that. That's no problem.
So, well, I could register this. I just didn't want to register it before we actually knew what we were putting on there, because it could take us another 2 months to figure out what we're actually doing. Because we are us.
Trying to figure out how to do the certificate for that, but shouldn't be a big deal.
Well, I didn't think the certificate was going to be the falling off point. I knew
Well,
that not every registrant would do the dot club, and I knew that some DNSs don't deal with it real well. So
yeah.
well, they added all these new top levels, and there are still some legacy DNSs that don't necessarily deal with the new stuff real well. I think we'll be all right, but like if you want to be a whatever dot engineer, Pork Bun will register it for $7.72 for the first year, and then it renews at almost $30.
So this is what I see when I try to go to afraid.org. Oh, weird. I can spend all day on YouTube, but God forbid I look at my DNS stuff.
Well, you know, that's every great once in a while when I connect to Kroger's Wi-Fi, I'm sitting there in the parking lot just waiting for Patty to get off work or whatever. I connect to their Wi-Fi, go to try to watch a video on Pluto TV. Sorry, you can't do this. It violates network security. but I could watch any YouTube video I want. Well, what the heck's the difference?
This is probably 2.5 decades ago. I was going through Meyer when the pharmacy was back in the back of the store, and there was a screen there, and I started putting in my information, and it just seemed to lock up. So I just went up and did a Control Alt Delete and reset it. When it came back up, I was inside the pharmacy system. It was like, do you really want me to have access to all the patient information and drugs, and I had the control as if I was the pharmacist, and I'm not really qualified to do that.
You don't have a pharmacy license?
I'm lucky to be able to ask my wife, what drugs am I supposed to be taking?
Am I on the right drugs now?
Well, she spent 8 years as a medic in the Navy and 25 years as a certified pharmacy technician. So I don't bother to try to learn any of that stuff. She's a ready resource.
I I think I sent a picture to Steve of it, but here recently I went to Wendy's and their little kiosk thing outside was rebooting and it came up with a Ubuntu desktop. And that's where it was sitting. It was just sitting on the Ubuntu desktop. So I took a picture of it. And I'm pretty sure I sent it to Steve. But I sent it to somebody. Somebody got a picture of it. I
I
was
think that was me.
like, isn't this cool? Wendy's uses Ubuntu.
What was the Windows version that would come up with the blue screen says to avoid seeing this message, always shut your machine down properly?
All of them.
But it crashed and you couldn't shut it down properly, but you get this message. I was in a hotel about that time, and the little screen in the elevator was running that version of Windows. And I'm thinking, do I really want to drive up in an elevator to running this crappy version of Windows?
Pretty sure 95 did and 98.
Yeah, I was thinking ME. That sounds like something ME would do.
I never ran ME, so it wouldn't have been that.
XP. XP had a blue screen of death. Um, Vista blue screen to death all the time. Uh,
I
take
think
take your pick.
the simplified Microsoft business plan is buy a program, change it so it doesn't work,
And
and
profit.
time for other people to try to figure out what's the matter with it.
Oh, the new one though is Microsoft buy a program, change it so it doesn't work, let the AI try to figure out why you broke it in the first damn place. I have not had a chance yet. I haven't needed to use my meter for anything, Mr. Ray.
I put in batteries, verified it came on.
Yes, I can say that. I did make sure that it turned on. I haven't seen if it actually worked. I'm charging a
Okay,
couple
well, if it turns on, it probably works.
I'm charging a couple of batteries right now, so that would be a good test. I could use it for that. And then I could see just how more accurate it is against my Harbor Freight red one.
Oh Lord. How do you know which one is accurate?
Well, I would imagine that the one that you gave me is more accurate than the Harbor Freight.
It's just a CL100, but I'll bet it's a lot more accurate. Yeah.
It would be a well,
I honestly would be kind of surprised if it's any more accurate, but I would definitely trust it more at higher voltages. I don't like plugging a Harbor Freight meter into anything over about 24 volts.
That's high voltage. Okay.
I'll walk out to the garage and get another meter if I got to stick it in an outlet. I understand insulation.
This this kind of fits in with that. Julie brings her hair dryer to me and says, "This stopped working." So I'm thinking, it's a hair dryer, can't be too difficult. So I started examining it, and the wire from the ground fault circuit interrupter to the dryer itself, just right outside of the little GFCI box, is broken internally. The insulation is intact, but you can tell that the wire has been flexed and is no longer in contact. And she says, "Oh yeah, last time I plugged it in, there was a big ball of fire came out of that."
Why don't they start with that?
So
Big ball of fire. Can you
I'm
fix?
thinking this can't be too difficult. So I get the security screwdrivers and take it apart, lop off about 2 inches of damaged wire, solder it back together, put it back in, plug it into the wall, and this big ass ball of fire comes out of the GFCI. It wasn't the broken wire at all. It was something in the GFCI. I did not examine it further. Hair dryers are not that expensive.
Yep.
Hair dryers are kind of scary too. Most of them, the heating element is treated as the dropping resistor for a 12-volt DC motor. That just ain't right.
That's like British wiring on cars.
I've owned several British cars.
When you
Yeah,
look at a professionally made, professionally used hair dryer, you're talking 2,400 watts. They are incredible. So I used to compare like how much power a laser machine uses compared to a microwave oven and a hair dryer. Because, all these people, they were like, oh yeah, I got a really good hair dryer. It's 800 watts, it's 1,200 watts. And the professionals make, 2,000 watt. Like, oh yeah, my laser doesn't pull that much power. That's crazy. All these young girls out there, they're using a hair dryer in the bathroom. Don't drop in the sink.
well, I'm a strong advocate of GFCI, but I'm not going to test it out by dropping it in a pool of water.
I know the GFCI outlets work really well. Um, at my mom's house, she had, long story, but some electric got exposed to the outside elements, and every time it would rain, the GFCI would trip, which it did exactly what it was supposed to do. But
You
it
were talking about that being on their back porch of your parents' house.
she had one on her back porch, and same deal. Every time it would rain, water would just pour down the wall because they did not put the roof up. That's a different one that I'm thinking of, though. She's had a couple of them that have been like that.
Well, I'm thinking that the differential between uh, outgoing and return power is really, really quite small for the GFCI to trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's supposed to be guaranteed to trip at 30 milliamps. Most
They
of them will trip at 10.
they work. At least the outlets work. Um, we uh, we got after the the funny thing is that the house that you're talking about, she sold that house and the people she put up, this back room and all this stuff and nice fenced in area. The people that bought the house ripped all that crap down. We told her it wasn't adding anything to the house. Why are you doing this? It's not adding any value to this house. But the house looks a whole lot better now at least without the fence. The fence is gone and it looks really nice. I don't know about the back porch because you can't really see it from the road, but you can definitely tell that the house looks much better without the fence. So,
On water ingress years and years ago. Good Lord, this is 30 years, I guess. The ex and I were looking to buy a house, and we saw a listing out in Peebles. And so we drove and drove and drove and drove a little more, ended up in Peebles. And you go up this hill and around a couple of curves. It was like 45 acres. And there's this little house sitting there and a row of pine trees and trees around a pond and stuff. And we're walking around looking at the place and it started to rain. So we go up on the porch of the house, which we thought was empty. And it started raining harder and harder. And we're like, damn. And the door opens up and like six kids pile out. What you doing? Oh, hello. I'm sorry. We thought this house was not occupied. Man and woman come out. Oh, yeah, it's for sale, but while it's for sale, the owner said we could stay here. I'm like, okay. They invite us in and they seemed friendly enough, and I didn't figure they were going to shoot us in front of their kids. So we go in and there's water just literally pouring in on the dining room table. So they set a 5-gallon bucket up there and grab a piece of gutter and run it out a window. I mean, the gutter was there. It obviously was a recurring issue. And they're just running. My guess is it was probably about a gallon and a half a minute. That's more than most sinks put out.
Holy crap.
Yeah, they were nice folks. I told us actually quite a bit about the property, and I assume it was probably true. I don't know. Never did find out if they had any actual relationship with the owners, though. Didn't care. Kind of glad we didn't get that place. It would have been a 75-minute drive to work.
Oh,
Ooh.
That's about normal for the Bay Area.
I don't live there either. Oh, wait, in the Bay Area, that's only 3 miles.
Yeah, you're sitting in this long parking lot for a couple hours, and you're coming from a house that probably cost you 5 million or so.
Yeah,
Not
I lived
me.
in California for a while. I'm glad I don't live there. I remember when I lived there in the 80s, milk was 3 times as expensive as it was here in Ohio.
So, what part of California do you live in?
San Clemente.
No, okay.
It was nice. I mean, I was getting $18 an hour at a Radio Shack, and my rent was free because I was the guy that took care of the the rental units. But I couldn't have afforded to live there on any sort of normal pay scale.
Now I've only been to LA or LA County, and I couldn't wait to leave. I 25 years ago, I took a friend home, helped him move home. I drove the entire way, which is fine. He was supposed to drive part of the way, but he was drunk 99% of the time, so that never happened. Um, we get see all kinds of sites. We stop at a number of different places along the way, but we get to LA County, and from the time we entered on the freeway to the time we got to his house, which couldn't have been more than 4 or 5 miles away, was almost a 2.5 hour trip. And I was just like, I am done with this. I am ready to go. I don't want to see any part of LA. I don't care. And I
Come
slept.
on, you gotta
I
love traveling.
I slept on his couch, and I got up the next morning. I got up early thinking there wouldn't be any traffic, and there was traffic. And I was like, I can't even leave.
LA is the only place that at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, you can still be on a highway that's 8 lanes wide and in a traffic jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Uh,
Sucks.
San
it
Clemente
was.
was half,
Go ahead.
sorry, San Clemente is halfway between LA and San Diego. That entire area is that traffic jam.
Well, it wasn't the
Yep.
trip out there. I did not mind driving the trip. It was I hit that freaking traffic, and it was just there. I'm stopped. I'm stopped in the middle of no or I'm stopped in the middle of somewhere, but I can't go anywhere.
Yeah, well, it is worse in Southern California, which is like a completely different state. But
Yeah.
the traffic in Northern California is just as bad.
So yeah, I couldn't wait. I got there, and he was like, "Well, don't you want to see some of the sights? I mean, LA's there's a lot to do here." And
Not
no,
anymore.
I just want to go home. If we have to sit in any part of traffic to get to anywhere in LA, I don't want to deal with it. Just want to go home.
The one thing I was very glad I got a chance to do while I was in LA was I got to Mount Palomar. That was pretty cool. And
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it was there until one day or one night. I'm on the beach and I look back toward the mountains over or behind LA and I see this green laser
Oh,
and
cool.
it's
Yeah.
it's a big honking laser. Like, what the hell is that? Somebody said, "Oh, that's Polymer or whatever." Like, okay, cool. That I got to go see. Never got to Hollywood, never got to see any movie production stuff, but I did get to see one huge mirror.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I was just I did not want to deal with the traffic. That was it. That I just did not want to deal with, you know,
Well,
and
in 23, we're coming across the Bay Bridge into San Francisco, and I kept looking for toll booths, kept looking for information. I've got a credit card, I've got cash, I've got coins. I am prepared. Julie's driving, and there's nothing. Everything is all license plate readers. And when we get home 6 weeks later, I get a bill in the mail.
Yep.
And even so, it was a parking lot.
Yeah.
What bridge were you going across?
The Bay Bridge.
Okay. Yeah, all of them, you pay the toll going in, but there's no toll coming back out.
It costs to get into that traffic jam.
Well, you know, it's a large population. What can I tell you?
It costs in more ways than one to get into that traffic jam.
Who's the country and western star who says, next time I'm just going to find a woman I don't like and give her a house? Uh,
So
you pay money to get into the traffic jam.
yeah. Um,
Friend of mine picked up a job from a company out of San Francisco doing programming, and it was in the middle of COVID. So it was all online questioning and all the HR stuff. And they started him off at San Francisco scale. And I don't think they even realized he didn't live in California. And he had that job for 4.5 years. And they finally said, "Hey, we found out that you're living in Nevada. We need to cut your pay." And he's like, "Pardon?" I don't think you can do that. He ended up getting fired, but in that time, he made a boatload of money, and his cost of living in Nevada was just about nothing.
Where was he in Nevada?
Oh, like 100 miles out of uh, Vegas. I mean, he was in the middle of nowhere, literally. That land that you can find on Lands of America that's $700 an acre. That's what he had. It was covered with mine tailings and nothing would grow, but it did have a working well, which was kind of surprising. And I think he paid like $4,000 for 15 acres and moved a trailer out there and was happy as a clam.
when I went through Nevada was the nicest state to drive through. For one, no traffic, but when I
And you
went
can go
through,
90.
oh yeah, um, we kept seeing signs up various places that it was $2 an acre. You had to buy like 100 acres. It was a government program, and basically you had to put a structure on this property that you
Mhm.
bought. You they they wanted something that um resembled that people lived there, and I was like, that's a heck of a deal. I mean, I called and said something about it, and she said, well, basically what we mean by develop is bring a mobile home out. You know, you're probably gonna have to drill for water somewhere, but that's gonna be the biggest development is getting water out there.
Yep.
So this was in the late 70s, and I had been reading Scientific American. They had an advertisement there for Forbes Park, own your own piece of the Rockies. And it was a glossy photograph of pine trees and deer. And we cross over and we're headed to Great Sand Dunes National Monument. And I turn north and head toward there, and I can see it in a distance. And we drive for like 15 minutes and we don't get any closer than we were to
Stop it,
begin.
Ray.
So yeah, I put the gas pedal down and I'm driving as fast as the car will go. And it still takes us 2 hours to get there. Well, we leave and we're headed west and we're driving along. And there is nothing but barbed wire fence on both sides of the road and tumbleweeds. And we're driving along and we see something out there in the field. So we start paying attention and there's another thing. And as we progress along, we realize, oh, there's another post that lines up. So we start paying particular attention, and there's street signs. That's Forbes Park. Own your own piece of the Rockies. There's nothing but the street signs out there. You'd have to drive 90 miles to get a quart of milk. In terms of water, nothing. There's no roads. There's no homes. But there are plenty of street signs.
There were, so we would drive through and every now and then you would see like a trailer pop up or whatever out in the middle of nowhere. And there were signs all over the place that said open ranch. And you would see cows and whatever just grazing out on the highway. Just
Yeah,
it's like
that wasn't to tell you there might be cows around. That was to tell you to slow down for the cows that were around.
exactly. Um yeah, you don't want to hit one of those. Not only would the own, but you wouldn't see any people. There would be nobody around for miles but cows just out wandering around. And it would say open ranch. And I remember there was a sign when we first entered Nevada that said gas up now. Next gas station was 300 miles away
Forever.
or something. And you would find little tiny gas stations in between, but they would want like $20 a gallon.
Now, where were you coming in from?
I was,
Colorado or not
uh,
Colorado? Utah?
yeah, I came in from the north. Came diagonal down through there.
So that would be
Um,
Wyoming, I would guess.
yeah, I think it was probably Wyoming. Um,
I
I
mean,
could look.
Utah is straight east of Nevada.
I could look. Uh,
A very, very long time ago, I was basically just hitchhiking around the country, seeing what I could see. And I worked at Whiskey Pete's, which is right along the western edge of Nevada on I-15 going into California. And everybody there at the end of their shift would climb up on the side of the mountain that was behind Whiskey Pete's. And at night, you could see probably 300 miles of I-15 winding off into the distance. And it was really cool because on a Sunday evening, it was just a solid red line of cars going back to Los Angeles. It was neat. It was a fun job. I got to meet a lot of people that I liked a lot. And I'd like to go there again because now blocking that view, there's a huge solar collector that I have wanted to see up close. I mean, not real close because you're going to get blind, but it's like 25 acres of mirrors all focused on one sodium filled reactor. Like to see that, and I'd really like to go on a tour through it, but I doubt they let that anymore.
I thought they closed that down.
Really?
Yeah, that's the one that had the mirrored array that focused on the boiler on a tower.
Yeah. And the birds, of course.
Yeah. Um, I thought I read where within the last 6 months they'd closed that.
Wow,
I
I
thought it was
didn't hear that. That's kind of sad if they did.
Uh,
okay. Let me share this for you.
I may have come in through Colorado, um,
No,
down Interstate 15.
Okay, can you guys see that?
Yep.
Yep.
Those are all the streets, but you'll notice there are no homes.
No, I mean Utah. I don't know where I'm at.
This is Fort Garland, Colorado.
Wow.
Nice.
Not really.
Yeah,
It's dead.
I'm at the corner of 7th and Pine. I'm going to set off an atomic bomb so you can see where I am.
Do they plow the dirt off the streets every couple of years?
I don't know what the hell they even. This is a Google Maps, so the gray portion isn't really paving. It is an artifact of the map. I think it's just a dirt path. I don't believe there's
Yeah.
any rain that would change anything.
You're messing with me. I keep putting my mouse over it, try to zoom out. Now, I was just looking up other countries that are willing to pay you to move to their country. So I know it. You guys might have seen it on Facebook or heard it in some other places, but like Italy is willing to pay me to move there. I'm thinking that sounds great because I'd love to retire there, but they want younger people with certain jobs, and you're moving into towns that have a dying population. They want somebody that's going to get a house for $1 and then pour $50,000 into renovating that house. So
And that is if you could find someone who can do the renovation.
me.
Yeah,
But the problem is I'm not allowed to because you
you
have to
know,
be.
because you're not an Italian plumber.
I'm not an Italian plumber. No. Change my name to Mario and it doesn't work.
I work with a master plumber who is an Italian plumber, and he always
Luigi.
he will affect the Italian voice. He says the Pope comes in, he's looking up at the ceiling. Michelangelo's painting it, and he says, "I don't know. I think it's going to take a second coat."
okay.
Uh, so yeah, in an ideal world, that would be a great place to do. The parallel to that is, I would love to own a yacht in the Bahamas and be able to sail. And that,
No, the Bahamians are mean and they'll steal stuff from you. And they'll kill you for about $150.
well, that's that. But the other part of that is, after the hurricane goes through and your yacht is sitting in the middle of a parking lot downtown, there's the reality of oh yes, great idea.
I've been there, and my best advice is stay on the resort. Okay, I didn't even go on the resort because I wasn't there as a tourist. I was there to repair lasers. Imagine that. Um, and Carol knew I was going there without her. So she scheduled me to get in there at like 7 o'clock at night, get to my hotel. The next morning, got picked up by my customer, went to the laser machine, fixed the machine. Then he took me to the airport. My toes did not touch the sand, nothing. But I still had plenty of time. I walked the previous night. I walked over to the McDonald's. Man, that is the worst thing I could have done. The guy was like, "I'm surprised they didn't kill you for, thinking you're a tourist with a couple $100 in your pocket." They're they're bad people.
Well, there's places like that in the States too. I was in Baltimore doing some work on a stainless steel processing plant. And I left there late at night, drove over to the hotel. They had a 10-foot high chain link fence with double rows of barbed wire across the top of it, and an automated gate that had looked like it was a corrections facility. You had to buzz to get them to open the gate to get to the parking lot. It's like, I'm not going to McDonald's to get anything. I'm staying in the compound.
So I'm looking it up, and yeah, it looks like there are three towers at that site. I think it's Tonopah or something, and they're closing two of them in 2026. Apparently, it is a lot cheaper to use photovoltaics, and Nevada has a dry lake solar project that has double-sided panels. They catch light that's reflected off of the ground.
Wow.
Of course, the desert's pretty bright. Hmm.
Well, I am looking at the map, trying to figure out what we actually did, how we actually did this trip. Because I was sure we came in through the north. And I think because we went to Rachel, Nevada and Area 51, because those were two places that I wanted to see. So I think we got off of 70 and went up to 50, 50 over, and then maybe 93 down. No. Yeah, maybe 93 down and over to Rachel, and then back to 15 to get to Las Vegas, and then from Vegas to LA on 15. It was a trip. But I got to see Rachel, Nevada, and Area 51, which is what I wanted to see. And there's nothing out there.
There's nothing to see.
Nothing to see. Rachel's kind of an interesting little town. They set up it's the UFO town. Because you can certain times of the year when they're testing stuff out in Area 51, you could watch weird lights and stuff from there. So, it's a little touristy thing. They've got the alien and other touristy kind of stuff, but it's basically a mobile home park. And 15, 20 mobile homes out there. People live out there, and uh you don't want to walk too far out into the desert because there's signs up that where the government will come and
Open
es
fire.
escort you off of the government property, and you will still be 50 miles from Area 51 at that point.
Well, you also be radioactive.
Yeah, maybe. And Area 51 was interesting. You would come across these little parking lots out in the middle of absolutely nowhere, and you would get this big tourist bus looking thing would come up behind you or pass you on the road, and it would be full of government employees all going to Area 51. They all parked 20, 30 miles away from the entrance to get on a bus and ride to Area 51. And then the bus would pick them all up and take them back to their cars at the end of the day, and the parking lots would be empty. And literally, there's no towns, there's no nothing out there. Where were these people coming from? I have no idea.
They had their $10,000 trailer on a $2,000 lot in the middle of nowhere.
Something. Drove 100 miles to get picked up to drive the last 20 to on a bus. But you would see these little parking lots, and there would be at the beginning of the day there would be 50 cars, 100 cars in these parking lots. Where did all these people come from? Have no idea. And the people out at Rachel, they were the ones that explained what those parking lots were. Yeah, it's government employees going to work. Don't go down that road. No, seriously, don't go down that road. Why do you want to go? Don't go down that road. But yeah, I think that's what we did. We I know we took 70 across the top. So we must have got off at 50, went over 50. And I know we came in through Vegas. And then on my trip home, I came the lower part and went through Texas and diagonaled up from there.
Probably
Arizona,
across,
New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma.
yeah,
Probably
probably
Kansas.
Oklahoma City,
Yeah, or
Tulsa.
Kansas through Kentucky and up into Ohio. I think it's what we did. Maybe Tennessee. I might have hit part of Tennessee.
What's that town in Texas? Tucumcari or something like that. They've got 165 motels and like zero residents.
Okay.
What part of Texas you talking about?
West Texas along I
I
don't
10.
it's 10. Tucumcari,
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, Tucumcari.
Yeah.
Hmm. And why would this place have that many hotels and no residents?
Because there's nothing else around there.
It's where
It's
all the
about
government it's where all the government employees work in Nevada.
now, if you're
Possible.
on I-10, once you leave Dallas Fort Worth, you stay on that for 2 days before you get to Albuquerque, and it's right in the middle.
Oh,
It's the only place to stop.
nice.
I was driving a white Ford Escort with a blue interior with basically everything I owned in it. I paid $300 for that car in Nashville. Oh God, so many memories coming back. Anyway, so I'm driving across Texas in this messed up little Ford Escort, and I see somebody hitchhiking. I've hitchhiked plenty. I know what it's like, and it's hot out, and I got air conditioning for a change. So I stop. This little Mexican kid gets in, didn't speak a word of English. Not a kid. He was probably 17 or 18. And he indicated he wanted to go west. I'm like, okay, let's go. And so I'm driving, I'm doing about 85, which is maxed out for that car. And I'm trying to communicate with this kid. And all of a sudden, a coyote hops up out of the ditch alongside the road right in front of me. I slam on the brakes, I hit the coyote, and it's dead. I mean, I I couldn't do anything. And I stopped and I looked at the car and I looked back at the coyote and I'm like, I'm not getting near it because if it's not dead, it's going to be really pissed off. So I get back in the car and I'm taking off, and this kid, he's crossing himself and some sort of prayer in Spanish that I don't know. And he starts trying to open the door at 50 miles an hour as I'm accelerating. I'm like, okay. So I slowed down. He got out. I'm like, dude, get back in the car. And he's running back toward the coyote. And I'm like, I'm not coming back. I never did find out what happened to that kid or the coyote for that matter. Hit an armadillo once too. That was in Oklahoma City. Same car.
Different shaped dents.
Yeah. Armadillos leave a bigger dent than a coyote does.
Be like hitting a bowling ball.
Yeah.
Well, as fun as it is about talking about travels, it is 7 o'clock and I want
It is.
food. It's time for food.
So what are we having tonight?
I think it's something simple because we're going to Kentucky tomorrow and we're going to be there all day. So I think I'm getting mac and cheese, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. What part of Kentucky?
Florence.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
The oldest is having surgery tomorrow. I'm not sure why. Patty wants to be there for her. It's supposed to be an in and out kind of surgery, but it's going to be an all day event. You know how
Yeah.
that sort of thing is. But Patty wants to be there for her, so
Well, good luck.
thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
We are
Good luck.
virtual again next week. And then the following week, I believe, will be Oscope Extravaganza.
Yay.
So
In midpoint?
at midpoint. And that's all I know.
I will see one of you tomorrow.
All right. We'll see
Good
everybody
night.
later. Bye.
Bye.